Joining me now is Texas Congressman Roger Williams. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. How do you stand on this bill?
Well, I'm going to be for it. I mean, I think we need one bill. The problem is we ran on tax cuts. That's the major thing. We've got to deliver tax cuts. And I think to divide it into two bills and wait later on to talk about tax cuts and folks on the border is probably the wrong thing to do, because let me tell you, I'm out in the retail world every day. As you know, I'm in the car business, and people are wanting that money. We won because of tax cuts. People want their money back, and we've got to deliver that first. And I think it's going to be passed. We're going to have some debate on it, but I think we'll get one bill out there and get it to the Senate and get it to the President.
So, I mean, small business has been the driver of growth, and you chair the House Small Business Committee. You're urging the Small Business Administration Chief, Kelly Loeffler, to provide answers on alleged taxpayer-funded electioneering and misappropriated COVID relief money under the Biden administration. What can you tell us about this?
Well, the SBA has went totally rogue under Biden. I mean, it was supposed to be there to help small business get started and stay in business. And as you know, through a whistleblower, we found that they were signing memos of understanding with states on electioneering, trying to decide that Biden would continue to be president. And they were leaving their offices. They weren't working in their offices. They weren't helping small business. And, you know, in small business, Maria, you're the first one to open, the last one to close. But there was nobody from the SBA there. And then they can't find $220 billion of COVID money, over $70 billion of idle money that hadn't been paid on. They want to write everything off as taxpayers' money. So I'm looking forward to working with Senator Loeffler. We're going to do a good job in getting some things done to get some of this money back and get the SBA back to what they're designed to do, and that's not be the lender of first resort, but the lender of last resort, and not try to oppose the banks.
Well, I mean, so in other words, how did they misappropriate the money?
Well, they misappropriated because they gave money to people who didn't have the right Social Security numbers, that lied about who they were. We got issues that foreign nationals may end up having the money. They just sent the money to accounts they didn't have any support of. That was admitted to me by some of the people that worked over there. Then you have the idle loans, which are 3% loans that haven't even been paid on, and that's $70 billion. And to write all this off is unbelievable. It's mismanagement. We need to find out what happened and get them back on track.
Yeah, I mean, look, the EPA found $2 billion buried in the Inflation Reduction Act, right, which was money that went from Biden to his buddy, Stacey Abrams. So who knows how much money was misappropriated? I mean, you know, you and your colleagues were talking about the Inflation Reduction Act that didn't reduce inflation at all, and yet there's all this money for climate change in there.
Right. I mean, there's money that's everywhere, but the $220 billion out of the SBA is money that could have gone to Main Street America. It could have gone to the small business that needs a $5,000 line of credit. It could have gone to where it needed to go. So we need to get the SBA righted up to where what it is. It's to help small business get started. Senator Loeffler and I will be able to do that. I'm looking forward to working with her.
Mr. Chairman, you've got a recent piece in the Washington Reporter. You write this: President Donald Trump's SBA will fight for Main Street America. President Trump has already made great progress in ending burdensome regulations, you write, and cutting wasteful spending. And that starting a small business is the true meaning of the American dream. You're right. What changes would you expect under Kelly Loeffler?
Well, I think we're going to get the SBA to where it is a lender of last and not first resort. It's going to be simply to be there when small business needs it. And I'm not so sure that the SBA maybe has too many products. We got to take a look at that, and we got to make it easier for Main Street and the banks to understand what's out there and what they can do. I mean, Main Street, 75% of the payroll, 75% of the workforce, is 99% of our businesses. A strong Main Street is a strong America.
Mm-hmm. Today, the House Financial Services Committee is holding a hearing to examine policies countering China. Congressman, you're on that committee, and I want to know what you want to see here, because President Trump just last week came out with this America First investment policy. And in this America First investment policy, they talk about Chinese companies raising capital by selling to American investors securities that trade on American and foreign public exchanges, lobbying United States index providers and funds to include these securities in market offerings. And I'm wondering if this is going to be a blueprint for the major agencies in terms of governing the China relationship. What do you want to see?
Well, we need to be more aggressive with China. We need to be able to beat their deals. I mean, they own our real estate, they own our intellectual properties. They're supplying fentanyl and killing our generations. We need to be more aggressive. We need to have more transparency. We need to see what they're doing. We need to see their deals. I mean, we should be able to compete them any day of the week. And sometimes they say, well, we're paying too much for this or that. Well, you pay too much today, but you build equity down the road. So we need more transparency. We need to see what they're doing, and we need to be the competitor that takes them to task.
All right, we will leave it there and keep watching your work. Mr. Chairman, good to see you this morning. Thank you, sir.
Okay, God bless.
Roger Williams joining us. Quick break.